All right, man. Today we're going to be talking about scalpers. And the reason why is because I thought that this scalper was incredibly unique. Now, I'm sure that you guys have heard of Pokemon scalpers.
Whoa, 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 ma'am. Now, hey, just so you know, I've been videoing you the whole time. It just shows that you skipped the line. You skipped the entire line of people waiting. Yeah, but we've been videoing you the whole time. It's not about that, man. We're shopping just like you are. You should have got here earlier. We woke up early. We got here before you. Sorry that your son's taking a test.
That's crazy.
Let me go ahead and provide some potential context for you. And I say potential because I still don't know the story. But based off of the context clues, it seems to me like this woman wanted some Pokemon cards for her son. Her son seems like, he was at school. She wanted some Pokemon cards, but this guy was filming her, making her seem like she was the bad guy for cutting in line. When the reality is that the guy who was filming was actually the scalper. He was upset at the fact that she was taking 2 or 3 boxes when he was about to take the entire stock. This is one of those instances that demonstrates just how evil scalpers are. If they took a selfie, all their selfies would have the devil horn filter. But believe it or not, I'm actually not here to talk about Pokemon scalpers. Instead, I want to go ahead and demonstrate to you guys what a potential scalper sounds like and thinks like. Because believe it or not, there's an actual interview where they actually sit down with a scalper and he explains his reasoning. And none of it involves donating to charity. None of it involves leaving higher tips. Nope. By the way, this happened about like 10 years ago. So I just kind of want to go ahead and just give you guys context because they're going to mention the movie, The Interview, which was released 10 years ago. It's still fascinating nonetheless of just how the way this guy thinks.
The Interview brought people out to the theater Christmas Day. A local man bought $600 worth of movie tickets to sell online, but his plans to make a buck backfired. 9 on Your Side's Tony Moronis explains.
Whether it was for entertainment,
I like Seth Rogen's work,
or curiosity, moviegoers bought tickets to see The Interview. Jason Best bought 50 of them, not to watch the flick, but to make a quick buck.
When I first saw this, I could not believe that this was a scalper because I had a completely different perception of what a scalper was. To me, I thought a scalper looked like a bodybuilder who watched their diet, who was consistently going to work out at a gym, who was tutoring kids with their math homework. This is nothing what I imagine a scalper would look like.
Saw the hype about The Interview on the 23rd and thought, hey, folks are selling these tickets in other cities. Seems like that's the thing to do right now, and why not give it a shot just to see how it goes?
Why not give it a shot ripping people off and making sure that they spend a lot more than what they were intentionally meant to spend? This makes as much sense as using a really long straw to go and deep dive and explore the bottom of the ocean. Obviously, I understand why he did it, but what absolutely blows my mind is how this entire situation backfired. And even though he attempted to rip off people, he also attempted to rip off the mom and pop theaters by attempting to return those tickets.
It didn't go over very well. The movie was released online, so the demand for tickets dropped. Once Jason realized that the investment wasn't what he thought it would be, he tried to return the tickets to the Esquire Theater.
You can only imagine how the scalper felt, because if you really think about it, at least this is my theory, he purchased all these tickets thinking that people were going to be searching for the tickets. However, what he didn't anticipate was that folks were going to see if there was any seats available, and if there wasn't, then they were just going to move on to the next showing. Yeah, because I don't know of anyone who goes and checks to see if there's any seats available for a certain movie and then decides, wait, who can we contact so we can get tickets? No one ever does that. At least for me, when I see that no seat is available for a particular showing, I just move on to the next showing and suggest to people, maybe we should just purchase tickets for a later time. So that's why this entire scheme of his was unbelievably stupid. But it gets worse. You see, after he lost his money, he attempted to recoup it by attempting to refund it. And of course, as you can imagine, they ended up denying his refund.
He tried to return the tickets to the Esquire Theater. Management said no. So Jason called his credit card to dispute the charge.
Which I really didn't want to do. So I did that. The credit card company said the charges are still pending. Once they posted the account that I should go ahead and dispute, and they felt that I was in the right in this situation.
That is unbelievably upsetting. To know that he could potentially have the chance to recoup his losses is so unbelievably disheartening for me. I don't even think saying go to hell is enough, or because I feel like they would have a partnership with Lucifer and they would somehow rule together or something. I don't know. But to me, I feel like this is totally disheartening to just listen to the fact that he potentially has a chance to recoup his loss.
The theater's president, Gary Goldman, told me that the return policy is for customers and that Jason is not a customer. Instead, he's a businessman who tried to recoup a loss at the theater's expense.
I would like to see going forward them clearly marking their refund policy, which tickets are non-refundable and why.
Bro, listen, man, you don't care about any fundamental policy. You don't care about how fortified it is. Because he's trying to make it seem like, oh, well, I just want to make sure that their policy stands on firm ground. I don't know. He's making it seem that he's coming from a place of moral character. He's not. This guy, he is super degenerate, okay? If he was a superhero, that would be his name, super degenerate. What's worse is that they offered to donate the money that he spent to a charity. Go ahead. I want you to listen to what he responded to when they said that that was going to be the case.
They won't refund the money, but is willing to donate it to charity. Jason said, no, that would be financially irresponsible.
What do you think is more financially irresponsible? Spending about $600 worth of tickets to attempt to price gouge and scam customers, or donating it to charity, where if you donate it to charity, I guess apparently you could write it off as a tax write-off, depending on the state. I don't know. If you ask me, I think that spending $600 worth of tickets and attempting to scam people, I feel like that's much more financially irresponsible, especially when you're just winging it and you have no plan, no backup plan as to how you're going to be able to recoup your losses. To me, I think that this guy is just financially responsible all around. One thing that I'm realizing is that if you're going to go into the career of scamming folks or scalping, it's a true work of art. You really have to have a passion for the art form, for scamming, because just winging it, obviously this seems like it's completely amateurish. How the hell did you not think that there was going to be people that was just going to move on to the next showing? I really do think that scalpers meditate, because when you're out there scalping and you're taking all the product, you have to have a strong will and mind to ignore the criticism that's occurring around you. Because when you have people shaming you and you could just bypass all of that shame, that to me is incredibly impressive. And honestly, I've watched a lot of scalpers scalping Pokemon, and truly it inspires me to want to pursue that line of work. You know how incredibly powerful you could be by bypassing all of this criticism? Look at these guys. These scalpers are making money, guarantee. And they don't give a fuck. A lot of you guys are out there complaining, man, I fucking hate scalpers. But these guys are just, I don't even think that they know any other word other than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because they have to continuously count that money. I don't know. You guys let me know what you guys think. But just know that if I ever decide to choose a path, and that path is scalping and scamming folks, just know that this guy is definitely going to be my hero, and he's definitely going to be my wallpaper on my phone. Anyways, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end it there. That's all I have for you guys, and I'll see you guys next video.